want to talk to you today about sort of a formula for performance in the moment. I always try to come up with little unique ways for me to remember things I should be doing every day. And so I hope I have 7 P's, the letter P, P's for performance and prosperity that I want to share with you today. And I want to start out by just asking you a question. I want to ask you a question as to how you are showing up in your daily life. How are you showing up in your daily life? Daily, not in your life, daily. Today we're going to talk specifically about what you're doing in the week because it's Wednesday. And listen, it's the end of the year. And let's be honest, the games are won in the third and fourth quarter. The games are not won in the first quarter. The games are won in the third and fourth quarter. How many times have you had teams that have come back from way, way, way beyond against the odds to win the game? So it's all about finishing your week strong, finishing your year strong. And I want to kind of start out also with a little quick poem that I think you may have heard before, but this poem will kind of plant the seed of what I want to talk to you about today. And it's called My Wage. It says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you've set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life would have willingly paid. So I got to ask you this question. I got to ask you, what are you asking from life? And more importantly, what are you giving back? Because you might be asking for a mediocre life, but you still have to work. You still have to perform with that. You might be asking for an amazing life, but you've got to perform to the level that you need to. So let's go through real quick these 7 P's for productivity and prosperity. The first one is be present. Be present. I'm talking about being mindful. And the reason is this. Listen, some of you are so caught up in yesterday's home runs or yesterday's losses that you forget that it's over. That's over. It's time to move on and be present. And I'm talking about being mindful, right? Be mindful. And the best way to do that is you got to be grateful and grounded. For example, right now with this morning motivation, this is the thing that you're doing. Are you constantly distracted by other things? Are you thinking about, an hour from now, a day from now, a week from now? Or are you in the moment saying, what is the most I can do to be the best I can be? Be present, because the present is the only place in time you're going to score points. It's the only place in time where you can perform and you can be rewarded for your performance. So be present. And the best way to do that is to be grateful and grounded. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for what I'm doing. Especially if you're doing affirmations, I'm grateful for being even what I know I'm going to be, but in the moment. It's not about being, thinking you're that in the future and doing it in the present. It's about being in the present. So number 1, most importantly, be present. Number 2, be prepared. Be prepared. Have a game plan. It blows my mind how much people are working their guts out and they're grinding and grinding and grinding, and they don't even have a freaking game plan. When was the last time, if you play sports or you're at a job, you just ran out on the court and said, hey, let's do it. Let's go. Everybody's looking at you like, you don't even have a freaking plan, man. Go back and sit on the bench. It's time for you to have a game plan. If you don't know exactly what you want, if you don't know what you want to accomplish, and you don't have you don't have to have a perfect plan. You just have to have a plan. And the only way you can be prepared is to be focused and driven. You have to be focused and driven. And I'm telling you what, it's super hard for you to be focused and driven when you don't know what the freaking plan is. You've got to have a game plan. So be prepared. If you haven't got a plan where you've set some goals, you sort of put a few milestones in place, do it today. Do it this weekend. Get a plan so that you can go out and be prepared to be able to perform in the moment. You can't go be in the moment and perform at a high level if you don't have a game plan and if you're not prepared. Preparation is the key. Okay, 3rd, be productive. Being productive in the moment is not being active. It is a matter of effort and performance, but it's also a matter of level 10. Here's the bottom line. Opportunity doesn't wait for you to be present or be prepared or be productive. Opportunity comes whether you're ready or not. So if you're not playing at a level 10 in the present moment, and I'm telling you right now, it's hard to play at a level 10 in the present moment if you're reliving yesterday's home runs or you're wrapped up in yesterday's losses. You can't play at a level 10 unless you are in the moment, and you're in the moment, and you're maybe motivated by the future, but don't let your future vision rob you of the joy of the present and the effectiveness of the present. You absolutely have to be productive in the moment. Right now, what's the number one thing you can be doing to take yourself closer to your goal or move yourself away from where you were or get to the person you are meant to be, right? So be productive. So we've got be present, be prepared, be productive. The fourth one is be positive. I can't emphasize this enough. This is about your attitude, an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of success, an attitude of optimism and positivity. Listen, even if things are stacked against you, it does you no good to be negative. It does you no good to focus on problems. You need to focus on solutions. You should stop worrying and hoping that your problems get smaller and start being optimistic and positive that you're big enough to handle your problems. This is a big topic that I hear from Joel Osteen all the time. The bottom line is you have strength inside you to be bigger than your problems. The bigger your problems, the bigger you're going to be, the bigger your opportunity. You want big problems, but you have to be positive. If you're not positive, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So be present, be prepared, be productive, and be positive. Fifth, be postured. Now, this is funny because in business, I've had a lot of different businesses growing up, and people used to say, George, you're really cocky. And I used to say, nah, it's not cocky, it's confident. And there is a difference between cocky and confident. But what I'm telling you is posture up. For crying out loud, act as if. Be confident and be committed in your plan. Be confident and committed in your future. Be confident. Because just like being positive, if you're not confident, you're setting yourself up for failure. It doesn't matter how big the obstacles are. You're confident you're going to handle them. It doesn't matter how many problems you have. You're confident you're going to do it. Be postured up. Posture up. And I'm not talking about being fake, trying to, pose. I didn't say, by the way, posing is not one of the P's. Posture is one of the P's. That's called being confident and committed in your ability to act in the present. Okay? Posture. Number 6, this is going to be hard for some of you. Be plentiful. Be abundant. Here's the catch-22, and here's sort of the dichotomy of being abundant, is that you feel like that when you have, you'll give. You feel like when you are able to reach a level, then you can live your life. You can be generous. Here's what you don't understand. There is more than enough abundance in the world, and until you believe that, until you are being plentiful, not wanting to be plentiful, not wanting to be abundant, until you believe and you are being plentiful and you're being generous and you're being giving, and you're being, with your time, selfless, right? You have to be plentiful to have plenty. You have to be plentiful to have plenty. You have to think abundantly. And I promise you, you may not believe this, but there is a lot of abundance in the world. There's plenty of abundance in the world. And here's the caveat. And here's what's crazy. It doesn't matter if you believe it. It doesn't make it true or not if you don't believe it. The bottom line is there's more than enough abundance in the world. So why don't you just choose to be plentiful? And if you choose to be plentiful and you're giving and generous and with your time and you're not selfish and you're selfless, right? Then you will be performing in the moment. And the last one, and this one is probably the most difficult for all of you. And for me, right? We're dominant, driven personalities. Be patient. You have to be patient. And here's what I mean by that. Don't be tied. So I'm not talking about slowing down. I'm saying being patient is don't be tied to the outcome. See, some of you don't realize, and some of you forget, and I'm talking about even very successful people, you forget that a price has to be paid. The price will have to be paid. The price has to be paid, and there's nothing but time that makes that happen. Now, some of us, we shortcut it by creating mentors and masterminds and individuals that help us get shortcuts, but make no mistake, price still needs to be paid. The price needs to be paid. So let's review real quick these 7 P's for performing and performance in the moment. Be present, be mindful, be prepared, be productive, be positive, be postured, cocky, confident, whatever, but be confident, be postured, be plentiful, and be patient. Here's the bottom line. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to really try hard to play the game, not keep the score. Because here's the thing. Do you want to be the scorekeeper? Because that's what most of you do in your lives, what we all do in our lives, right? Do you want to keep the score? Or do you want to play the game? When you learn to love the game, trust me, the score will keep itself. When you learn to play the game, you will enjoy the no's. You'll enjoy the bad times. You'll enjoy the obstacles. You'll enjoy the things that aren't working for you because that's part of the game. You can't come back if you're not down. You can't have a big win. Who wants to go watch a game where everybody just scores a ton of points? You want that momentum. You want that intensity. So be patient and play the game. And here's the beauty of this whole message. The beauty of this performing in the moment is today's a brand new game. Every day, How grateful is that? Every day you get to start a new game, a new score. Yesterday doesn't matter. Tomorrow has not freaking happened. The only thing that matters is the present. It's a gift. That's why they call it the present, right? It's a gift. It's a brand new day, a brand new game. You need to go out there and you need to win the game and do everything you can to produce in the moment. That's my message for today. I hope it helps you. I hope you can share that with others.